You're welcome once again. Today we are looking at something on decimal places. Okay. Now, sometimes you can be given a question in mathematics to solve, and you'll be asked to leave your answer in probably 2 decimal place or 1 decimal place. Okay. Now, if you find that as a challenge, then that means you stand a chance of losing some precious marks there. Now, decimal place here is just the position of a digit to the right of the decimal point in a decimal number. Okay, so look at the positions here. To the right, this is the decimal point, and this is the right of the decimal point. So these are the decimal places. So when you pick the decimal point, look at the right of the decimal point. The numbers or the numerals there are going to give you your decimal places, right? Good. So let's take the first one. So 6.381. These are decimal points. So if you are going to count, you are supposed to leave it in 1 decimal place. So the DP here just representing the decimal places. So 1 decimal place. So after the decimal point, you're going to count 1. So 1 is on the 3. Okay. Now, the moment we spot it, then that means that it's going to be 6.3. You are not done. Look at the number behind the 3. This is 8. If you realize that that number, that first number just behind the 3, if that number is equal to 5 or greater than 5, you round this 3 up, meaning you add 1 to the 3. But if you realize that that number is less than 5, just maintain the 3, don't touch the 3. Okay, so in our case here, the next number here is 8, which is greater than 5. Then that means you are going to round this 3 up. That means you are going to add 1 to the 3. That will give you 4. If 1 is added to this, you surely get 4. So in 1 decimal place, you are going to have 6 point. Now 1 is added to it, and that will give us 6.4. 1 decimal place. I believe you are good. Yes. Let's look at the second one. 0.9237. You are correcting it to 2 decimal places. So after the decimal point, it says to the right. So 1, 2. This is a 2. Now the next number behind this is 3. You see, 3 is less than 5. And as I said, if it is less than 5, maintain this last number. The last number here was 2. If it is less than 5, maintain this, don't add anything to it. So that means you're going to have 0.92. 0.92. You're following, right? Yes. Let's look at the next one. 3 decimal places. 29.8306. So let's count. This is a point we count. 1, 2, 3. So this is a 3. The next number is 6. Okay. So this one is also greater than 5. And as I said, if it's equal to 5 or more than 5, you round this number up. The last one here, 1, 2, 3. The last one was on the 0. Okay. So realize that this is 6 is more than the 5. So you round this up by adding 1 to it. We surely get 29.83 is 0. 1 is added. 1. And that is your answer here. Let's take the next one. 742.143989 to 4 decimal places. So we are going to count. This is decimal point 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the first 4. Now the number behind it is more than 5. It is 8. Okay. Now 8, that means you are going to add 1 to this, meaning you are rounding this one up. Now when 1 is added to this is 10. That is 2-digit numbers. Now let's look at something here. If I give you something like 19 plus maybe 11. 9 plus 1 is 10. You write all the 10 here? No. We mostly write 0. Then you let this one follow here. Right? That's the same thing you do for this side. So 1 plus 9 is 10. You are not going to write all the 10, but you write 0. And you add 1 to this. So if 1 is added to this, then this becomes what? 4. Right? Yes. Because we can't write all the 10, just write a 0, just as we did for this. Then you add the 1 to this one. So if 1 is added to this, it becomes 4. So we end up having 742.14. The carry 1 was brought here. So 4, and then the 9 here was 0. 0. So 742.1440. Then I'd like you to try your hands on the last one. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.